Hey everyone, Lisa Haverly here with Nature Superhero Network, and I haven't posted a YouTube recording in a while, so I'm waiting for a client. So I thought I would pop on here and just share what's been going on. And so it's crazy. It's December, and today is just a beautiful day. It's like 50 degrees, which is unheard of. So we've had a really unusually warm start to winter, which in some ways makes nature-based OT a little bit easier for sure. But this fall, I hired an OT assistant. So Heather, if you are listening, a shout out to her. So she's been a wonderful addition as I am bringing her on to take over some clients to support me in that way. And also just to kind of share with her what is nature-based OT. And so, there is a lot to learn when you are going from indoors to outdoors. And so there's the big picture of how does OT and nature fit together, but there's also just, the parts of how you plan a therapy session and how do you bring in natural materials? What does that look like? And how can you work on this goal outside? And so I would be curious to see what she thinks about it all. So if you would listen to this, Heather, maybe you want to drop in the comments what your first impression has been to taking therapy outdoors. And so, I am right now sitting here in my indoor space. For those of you who don't know, I am working here in Wisconsin, kind of near Minnesota, Wisconsin border. So kind of northwestern Wisconsin. And so it can get pretty cold here in the winter time. And so I do have access to an indoor space, but we do try to spend as much time outside as possible, even in the winter. So fun things that are happening right now is I also just started kind of a play group, an after school play group for 8 to 13-year-olds or 9 to 13-year-olds. And we have a small group of just 4. But this was kind of a trial to see if I want to do more of these after school groups. And it just happened to work out that I have my 10 session packages ending, and so I kind of transitioned into in between here, between the ending of this package and the start of the next one, to do a group. And so it's been great fun, and so I'm going to share with you something that maybe you want to try if you have access to fire. We made campfire popcorn, and I've always done it with the big kettle and the stir with the popcorn and the oil, but I've never done it in individual like pie tins, and so super fun. And so you have your 9-inch or whatever pie tins, and you put about a couple tablespoons, maybe 1 tablespoon of popcorn kernels, and then you add some oil, and then you put it on the fire, and you cover it with aluminum foil, and you tent it a bit so that the popcorn has room to pop, and then you put it on the fire. So the one thing that we didn't consistently do was shake it while it's cooking. Very important to shake it while it's cooking so you don't get burnt popcorn. So we had to kind of live and learn with that, but in the end, it worked out great, and the campers loved watching it pop. So I actually did a reel on Instagram of them watching it pop, and then we did a little mindful listening as we listened for the popcorn to pop. So super fun. We did what else have we done? We did some stringing of popcorn with cranberries, right? And then they could take those home or not, and we would hang those on the trees so it'd be food for the birds. This last session, we did a book on being in the present moment. And again, kind of speaking to thinking about the here and now and not worrying about what's coming up or not kind of ruminating about what happened before. And so with that, we did some nature art. And so they got to take that home with a little message that reminded them to be in the present moment. And with that, we kind of worked on, focus and attention and those kind of things. So I kind of tend to weave in some social and emotional themes, but it's great fun because this time of year, of course, when it gets to be 5 o'clock, it's dark. And so we have our flashlights, and I'm going to bring out the headlamps next time, which is going to be so fun. We did some glow-in-the-dark hide and seek or scavenger hunt to look for glow-in-the-dark rocks. And so that was super fun with glow-in-the-dark face paint. Just a great time. So I hope this inspires you, or it helps you to think about some other ideas, especially if you are navigating the darker winter months and still trying to do some work outside. So it can be tricky though to do work outdoors in the dark, especially if you are not in a well-lit area. So I would love to know kind of how you navigate around that, or perhaps the nature spaces where you work has some lighting. And so next week for our group, we're going to do lanterns. And so maybe I'll come back on and share a little bit about how we made those lanterns. So we're going to add some light. And that kind of aligns with, a day before the winter solstice. So where we're going to talk about daylight and the shortest day of the year. And so anyway, I'm excited. So that's what's going on here. What's going on where you are? I would love for you to drop a comment below and just share what's going on and what you're working on. There's a lot of people that are in this Facebook group. I'm going to kind of post that there, who are doing all kinds of different things. And so introduce yourself if you haven't already. Again, Lisa Haverly, and my business is Rainbow Tree Therapies here in Hudson, Wisconsin. And so I would love to know what you're doing and if you have any great ideas. So I'm going to come on next time, maybe next week, and talk about how I made these lanterns. So that's what's going on here. I hired an OT assistant. It's going well. Doing lots of teaching and training and trying to navigate all of that. So Heather feels prepared. But yeah, it's been great. And so the new year, I'll share a little bit more about the new year next time as well. So I hope everyone is doing well out there. Happy holidays if you celebrate the holidays. And please comment and please subscribe if you want to hear more from me. And that would be so awesome if you would do that. All right, I hope to one day see you down the road. In the meantime, have a great day. Bye-bye.